What's up everyone and welcome back to the MMA Zone. Today, let's get started with Dana White reveals plans for boxing. For years, combat sports fans have wondered when the UFC would finally pull the trigger and commit to Zuffa boxing. This week, Dana White has been promoting the upcoming Walsh-Runowski fight and the Joshua Dubois fight on social media, something that struck many fans as peculiar given that White has generally been against cross-promoting and doesn't go out of his way to promote events outside of the UFC and power slap. During a recent press conference, White fully committed to diving headfirst into the world of boxing, saying, quote, "There will be some big announcements soon, and let me tell you, if you know anything about me and you go back and look at anything I've ever said, I never say anything that I don't do ever. I've never said that, and we've been kicking the whole boxing thing around for a long time. You've never heard me commit and say I'm in. I'm in." The combat sports community was quick to weigh in, with mixed reactions. One fan wrote, "It'll be the best television pay-per-view product in boxing, that I can guarantee you. We'll see how the other pieces play out. Matchmaking roster if and when Zuffa boxing finally launches." Another predicted, "Dana is going to take over boxing just like he took over MMA. I will be watching." Another suggested that the UFC should have gotten into kickboxing. Dana effed up. He should have made a kickboxing promotion that has no grappling instead of just boxing. Wade Clements also weighed in, speculating that with the UFC's media rights deal up, there could be more at play behind the scenes. This is pure speculation by me, but Dana promoting Joshua versus Dubois on DAZN is interesting. I know there's the connection with Riyadh season, but the UFC's media rights are coming up. Dana has a relationship with Turkey. Am I crazy to think there's something brewing here? Do you think Dana White and the UFC are finally going to dive headfirst into boxing? Up next, Michael Chandler predicts Islam Makhachev versus Arman Tsarukyan. While nothing's been finalized yet, Islam Makhachev and Arman Tsarukyan are on a collision course that will see them square off either at the end of 2024 or early next year. After a closely contested bout back in 2019, the MMA community has been divided on how the rematch will play out all these years later. During a recent interview with MMA Fighting, Michael Chandler shared his thoughts on the fight, saying, quote, "I think Islam's just got too much for him. I think Islam is a man possessed. I think Islam is bigger, stronger. He's got more skills. Obviously, I've studied the Oliveira-Arman fight a lot, which was Charles' last fight, and he lost to Arman, and just don't think he has enough to beat Islam. I think Islam has got too much pressure. His wrestling is better. He's improved a ton more since him and Arman have fought. I think Islam goes out there and wins." Chandler also spoke about a potential fight with Conor McGregor, expressing optimism that the bout will eventually take place when McGregor is ready to return. "I do think he returns. Maybe I've just been so close to it and so focused on it that you just look at his history. Conor McGregor is a nothing nobody without the sport of mixed martial arts, without the UFC platform, without the legacy that he has created. I believe he's romantic about it. I believe that he loves the sport. I believe that his spirit loves the sport, but sometimes his body and his brain want other things. I never walked a mile in that man's shoes. Neither have you. So who are we to critique him? But I do believe he comes back, and when he does, I'll be waiting. I just might have the title by then." Dana White also spoke about McGregor's return this week during the Walsh-Runowski scrum, saying that McGregor's opponent will be determined by when he wants to return. It's going to determine when Conor comes back who the opponent is. Whenever Conor's ready and he comes back. He hit me up last night when he heard that I was here, and he's in New York right now, and he's training. While Dana White recently stated before UFC 306 that he has big news regarding McGregor, it sounds like we may have to wait for further news. Up next, Doctor responds to Dana White comments. After losing the title to Merab Dvalishvili at UFC 306, Sean O'Malley revealed to fans that he would have to undergo surgery for a hip injury. Immediately, many members of the MMA community began to question how O'Malley was cleared to compete with an injury that required surgery. During his post-fight press conference for Dana White's Contender Series on Tuesday, White spoke about the situation, saying there was no way UFC doctors could have known about the injury. Following White's comments after this week's episode of Dana White's Contender Series, orthopedic surgeon Dr. David Abazi weighed in on the situation with a video.
If you want to start finding things wrong with somebody, like hip labral tears or meniscus tears or cartilage injuries, all you got to do is start MRIing their body. You will find things. You will find things like hip labral tears, shoulder labral tears, meniscus injuries. You'll find cartilage lesions. The fact that there's a labral tear in Sean O'Malley does not mean that he could not compete at a high level. Some guys have these pathologies on an MRI and have zero symptoms. If you want to find something wrong, all you got to do is MRI somebody. This is not as shocking as it sounds.
Chael Sonnen, who notably praised Sean O'Malley after the loss on social media, also weighed in on the situation. "I didn't know this. Thanks. Ouch. Sounds like a nuisance." Despite needing to go under the knife, it sounds like O'Malley is targeting a return sometime next summer. Ilia Topuria sends a warning to Max Holloway. Although Max Holloway is fresh off an incredibly dominant victory over Justin Gaethje that saw him take far less damage than he has in previous fights, Ilia Topuria isn't worried about his upcoming UFC 308 clash with the former champion. During a recent interview with Spanish-speaking outlet Marca, Topuria cautioned Holloway against pointing to the ground and exchanging with him like he did in the final moments of his and Justin Gaethje's UFC 300 bout. As soon as Max starts to really fight me and start exchanging blows, that's the end of the fight. Nobody can exchange blows with me, not only because of my power, but because of the technique I apply to each movement. They don't see me coming. The change of pace that I introduce are something that they are not used to. They're not used to the game I propose. So as soon as Max starts to fight, as soon as he points his finger down, if he does it from the beginning, that's it. Of course, Holloway has proven to have an iron chin that no fighter has been able to crack throughout his 12-year UFC career. But despite that, Topuria proved with his knockout win over Alexander Volkanovski that his power is nothing to scoff at, leaving the MMA community divided on how this one plays out on October 26th. Alex Pereira receives warning ahead of his fight with Khalil Roundtree. Khalil's coach John Wood believes that Alex will try to shoot the first takedown against Khalil, and they're prepared for it. John said, "I believe honestly in my gut, I think Pereira shoots on Khalil. I think he's the one that breaks game first and shoots on Khalil to try and get that takedown. That's actually something he has done. I mean, we ain't shooting over here. I can tell you that. Khalil can. It's not like we don't train MMA or wrestling. I think Alex shoots first, but yes, I would be shocked if this fight goes 5 rounds. Someone is going out on their shield. It's gonna happen." Umar Nurmagomedov will beat Merab Dvalishvili, according to Cory Sandhagen. According to Ali Abdelaziz, Umar Nurmagomedov is next up for a crack at the bantamweight title, following his win over Cory Sandhagen back in August. On the heels of Merab Dvalishvili's recent win over Sean O'Malley, talk is now shifted to a potential clash between the newly minted champ and the undefeated contender. During a recent interview with Fanatics View, Cory Sandhagen spoke about the potential fight, predicting that Umar Nurmagomedov will wind up winning UFC gold if the UFC finalizes a bout between him and Merab Dvalishvili. I think that Merab is still going to have a bit of the grappling edge. The problem with Merab's grappling is that he doesn't really pin people to the mat or take their back. O'Malley was able to get up, not the easiest in the world. But when he did kind of really go for get-ups, he was able to get up. The striking difference in those two, like Umar is just a way better striker. And so yeah, that's going to be really hard for Merab. So I guess I would go for Umar just because the striking is so much more different. And Merab's grappling isn't necessarily tailored towards holding people down. And Umar is a much better grappler than O'Malley. Following Saturday's main event, Umar Nurmagomedov appeared on Kamaru Usman and Henry Cejudo's Pound for Pound podcast this week, where he shared his thoughts on Merab.
Who is finished? Nobody. He don't have chokes. He didn't knock him out. Nobody. And yes, he have good condition. And even what he doing always punch, take down. Punch, take down. Even when he take down somebody, he can't hold him. He can't take back. He can't try to choke him, do armbar. He don't have anything.
With a bout all but guaranteed, it sounds as though it's just a matter of time before a fight is finalized. Up next, Nickal reacts to next UFC fight. Along with the Jones-Miocic fight and the Oliveira-Chandler rematch, the UFC also recently announced that Nickal would be returning to action to fight Paul Craig on November 16th at UFC 309. After picking up a second-round victory over Cody Brundage at UFC 300, fans had been anxiously awaiting word on Nickal's next fight. During a recent video for his YouTube channel, Nickal spoke about the fight. "Yo, I should roll up with my face painted blue. Can you imagine that?" He'd be like, "Dude, that's my thing." Yeah, no, I'm excited. Paul Craig, big fight, MSG, UFC 309. Definitely gonna be a massive card, but yeah, I'm just ready to go. I'm excited. Just time to go do my thing. On the flip side, Paul Craig also spoke about the fight in a video for his YouTube channel, released on Thursday. With someone like Nickal, you're not going to learn to wrestle like him within a fight camp, so it's wise to say that, yep, I'm going to be working on these wrestling defenses. But what I should be working on is good footwork, good striking, and good grappling, and that's the keys to victory. We're not going to out-wrestle him, we're going to out-MMA him. With Craig being one of the best submission grapplers in the UFC's middleweight division, the bout could produce some electrifying exchanges on the ground as Nickal looks to impose his will and Craig looks to land one of his signature submissions from the bottom. Next up, Sean O'Malley claims he won against Merab Dvalishvili. At UFC 306, Merab Dvalishvili picked up a unanimous decision win over Sean O'Malley to secure UFC gold in dominant fashion. The fight saw two of the ringside judges, Sal D'Amato and Chris Lee, both score the fight 48-47 in favor of Dvalishvili, while Judge Mike Bell scored the bout 49-46 for the machine. After re-watching the fight, however, O'Malley feels as though he won more than the 2 rounds given to him by Sal D'Amato and Chris Lee, informing fans on social media that he believes he won rounds 1, 3, and 5. He broke the fight down round by round for fans as he watched it back. Round 1, I won that round 100%. Based on damage, that's my round. Round 2, Def lost. Took very little damage though. Round 3 was closer than round 1 in my opinion. My round. Up 2-1 going into round 4. Round 4, Merab's round for sure. 2-2 going into the 5th. Round 5, I won. I'm the champ. God is good. 1-3-5 round I won. Defending belt against Umar in Vegas June/July. He then followed it up with 2 more posts that read, undefeated and still. O'Malley also informed his fans on Instagram that he was still the champion. I'm back and still. Rewatch the fight. 1-3-5 I won. You have to beat the champ to be the champ. God, it feels good. Thank you guys. Can't wait to defend my belt again. In the accompanying video, O'Malley also retrieved the title belt he stored in a suitcase after the loss, doubling down on his claim that he's still the champion. O'Malley also doubled down on his spaces with fans, saying he won the fight and is still the champion. Merab responded to O'Malley's video by releasing a video himself, saying that he will handle Umar Nurmagomedov next, and he reminded Sean that he's not the champion anymore. Here's the clip.
Sean, it's you, my friend. What's wrong with you, bro? Why you keep smoking, my friend? I thought you was just sleeping now. It's a sleep time for you, bro. Come on, bro. Listen, son, don't worry about this Umar Nurmagomedov. I will take care of Umar. You're not a champion anymore, and I'm gonna take belt from you again. So you drive safe, son. Let's go, Sean. No more smoke. No more smoke. See you. Bye. Drive safe, okay?
So far, no response yet from Umar Nurmagomedov regarding a fight next summer. However, his sights appear to be set on a title fight with Merab Dvalishvili. Sean O'Malley gets accused of having CTE by fans after he claimed that the UFC judges misscored his card and he actually won at UFC 306. Here's what the MMA community had to say. Sean O'Malley might have CTE. He called Aiden Ross and said he won at UFC 306 and will be defending the belt in June/July. CTE or just wishful thinking. Either way, it's a wild call. That's concerning. Hopefully Sean O'Malley gets the help he needs. I actually can't stand this guy anymore. Used to root for him, but he can't take an L. Embarrassing. He tore his labrum and needs surgery. June/July is a realistic return. He's clearly trolling low IQ casuals. I can't even tell if Sean is joking anymore. The champ stuff is obviously jokes, but rationalizing how he won seems like he believes it. Conor McGregor influence kicked in for Sugar. I mean, it's not like Sean got his ass beat or anything, but he just didn't do enough in that fight, to be honest. Merab won because he had more control the majority of the fight. The who's done more damage scoring aspect was thrown out the window when neither of them were barely taking any. Why is he stuttering so much? This is concerning. I wish him the best though. Top comments. John Jones is 10,000% retiring after Stipe fight. Why would he risk fighting Tom at this age? If he takes Nell, he wouldn't be in the GOAT discussion. He has too much to lose. Chael Sonnen has never told the truth in his life. Hamzat needs to focus on Whitaker before he gets carried away thinking about a fight with DDP. Not gonna lie, I think Ilia pieces up Sugar even before he lost to Merab. Bro's fragile.